All right, you guys, welcome back to another live stream. Please share, subscribe, and make sure to share this video. Now, we got to talk about the great white America is falling. She's losing her power. So now, God has brought the ginger man to the White House. Because listen carefully now. America has to pay for her sins that she has committed. The genocide of the native people, the transit-led slaves that brought us here. You see, the lynching, the brutality, the killing of us without any thought of justice. Now, do you think that God is pleased? See, the system is owned by white supremacy. We see in the political, educational, spiritual, cultural, the economic, legal, wherever you want to see, white supremacy is ruling. So don't get it twisted. So now, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says, for great judgment are afflicting America as we speak. Rain, hail, snow, earthquakes, and many other related plagues. So you see, at tons, millions of tons of water is going to drop on America. So you have to know what's happening, because it's coming near where you may live. See, nobody is going to escape God's judgment. You see, I represent the Messiah, the Pope. Poor fella. He says that he's a member of Jesus. But, oh Lord, he's got to clean up his house. In America, she has to do a marvelous thing. You know, a square deal. Because it takes justice to work. See, it takes justice to postpone her time, to prolong her time, to put a great extension of time. Because Jesus says, giving a brother or sister a drink of water. And that good act is being a reward because brothers and sisters, no good act goes without its reward. So she has to do a marvelous thing to turn it back around. Now I say this, America knows the evil that she has done to us, but to repent of it, I doubt it much. You know, today she got her feet set on 20 and 30 million black people, you know, brought out of their native lands and people from their God. Now, we see in the ancient Babylon history, the enslaved Jews was ordered to flee out of Ramillis and be delivered every man from his soul from the furious anger of the Lord. You see Jeremiah 51:45. You see the last book of the Bible, the Revelation of John 18 verse 4 makes this a little clearer. Both prophecies are similar, but the one in Revelation is warning a people to flee out of Babylon so that we be not partakers of her sins of Babylon and receive not of her pledge. This shows that God was going to pledge Babylon and that his people should not suffer the divine pledge sent upon Babylon. They are ordered to flee out of her. Jeremiah 51:45. This is a future prophecy of a future Babylon, similar to ancient Babylon, under the rule of the kings. The history of these two kings of ancient Babylon teach us that they held slaves who was trying to serve the right God. Now, the coming of Allah and the person of Master Allah Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, was for the deliverance of the lost found people, black from a 400-year-old enemy who had never shown them anything but evil, murder, death. Be very angry, as it was written of him, as I know it to be the truth. We desire nothing more than freedom, justice, and equality for us, the once lost and now found black members of our nation, the original black nation of the earth. America now is at war with God through God's people, the so-called nickel. The confusion and the pledge of the country with disasters we see one right after another is divine retaliation against white America, evil doing and intention against her one slave and her false friendship, which has her open her homes to integrate the people of God with them, who by nature are different, are forged. The white men have poisoned our people minds so thoroughly that they fight against their own God and starvation to gain the favors of their own enemy. They call Islam the true religion of God to us. The one slave of America is the same call telling us to fly out of America's way of life so that our life may be saved from divine destruction of a non-repentant enemy. Jeremiah 51:45. Divine pledge and forging war are now destroying America's standard of life and money, a deceitful, filthy temptation, now being displayed before her one slave and the world are designing to make the once slave an enemy of his God and of his own starvation, and are designing to make them take part with them against the aim and purpose of our life, which is to set the so called in heaven while he lives. A prophecy relating to America is mentioned in Isaiah 41, verse 1, as a virgin daughter of ancient Babylon history. As we all know, America is the last, the greatest, and the richest remaining power of the right nations. But now she is fallen. And the prophet Isaiah says, come, sit down in the dust, humble yourself, for you are no more called delicate. The filthy display by white American Christians walking around half nude, sitting before their pastors and their churches with justice halfway up their thigh. For the pastors, they're at their new forms. Goes on. The pastors should actually be standing at the door telling such disgracefully dressed people that he preached the words of God. Now God warns us to be clean both internally and externally, and that we should not tempt the nations to do evil and filth. But he opened his church doors and is happy to have them enrolled, sitting before his eyes, knowing that this is against the teachings of God, turning his house of God into a worship of filth and evil. Can the church survive? Can Christianity survive these days of divine judgment against America? The Revelation reads in a prophecy relating to America that she had in her a hole for every foul spirit, and a cage every unclean and hateful birds. Revelation 18, verse 2, all hateful birds that have a haven in America. Though the scientists and scholars of the religion of Christianity know these words to be true, desire yet to see. They're already made blind, deaf, and dumb, so called to go to his doom with them. And since they are by nature evil, they tempt them. The Holy Quran teach us that they only lead you to filth and evil. This is perfectly manifested today in America amongst its people, ruled by the white man. The very consciously of the individual know that these evil we see today are not accepted by God. The desire to marry and integrate amongst people whom God has made to be his and our enemy is beyond one imagination. Jeremiah 51:46 prophesies violence in the midst of Babylon. We see a future of Babylon and ruler against rulers. Is not this true of American governments and people today? Whole land of people shall be confounded. Jeremiah 51:47 is not this true of American governments and people today? They are fast becoming confounded, and all her slaves shall fall in the midst of her. Jeremiah 51:47. Every hour in the day and night, people are being murdered and killed in America throughout her cities and highways. Murdering and killing is the order of the day in America. The Bible mentioned that God used a destroying wind, we see in Jeremiah 51, verse 1, against those who oppose his purpose and aim. Is it not true that day and night, somewhere in America, there are destructive tornadoes and storms destroying the properties and life of Americans? Go to sleep to the reality of the judgment of America, a repetition of ancient Babylon judgment. If you like to be caught in a snare, as God has said, he laid a snare for ancient Babylon. Jeremiah 50:24. And ancient Babylon was taken in that snare. So it is in America. long before America ever thought that she should repent of evil done to a slave or reject repentancy. God has set the snare to catch her. America is now in the same snare that God has set for ancient Babylon. Will America repent that she should be healed? Or will she ignore it? Modern Babylon is falling. We say modern when we refer to something comparative to the past. This name Babylon begins in Genesis chapter 10, verse 10, and Genesis chapter 10, verse 10 is spelled Babel. But the same name seems to have changed itself into the name Babylon as we come to the most late date history of this name. Babylon, according to the history of Babylon throughout the Bible. See, Babylon is referred to as something prophesied as having a failure upon her progress and rise. In Psalms 137:18, David prophesied that Babylon was made to be destroyed. We know nothing other than the devil and his work that was actually made to be destroyed spiritually. The devil was not made to exist forever. This is verified by both the Bible and Holy Quran, and by all writers and teachers of scriptures. So here, Babylon seems to refer not only to some towns or cities, but also seems to refer to a race or a nation of people. See, ancient Babylon, as known by all of us, was a city under the reign of the king. See, the fall of Babylon was final. See, Babylon was never to be rebuilt after a fall, and Babylon was never rebuilt. This point to the same prophecy of the devil and his kingdom and the revelation of John, the Bible, that Satan and his kingdom will be burnt up and will never rise again. In the letter of Paul, there's a prophecy of the devil and his kingdom. That the devil was made for feud for the fire. Holy Quran refers to this prophecy and these words: feud of hell is man and stone. So the feud of hell is man and stone. We do not know why stones are put there with man. It could be referring to the hardness of the stone, to the hardness of the hearts, and the hardness of the wicked against truth and righteousness. In the book of Revelation, the Bible is prophesied here that an angel, a warning to the people that America is falling. He didn't tell why America flew. You see, because Babylon flew because she has become the habitation of devils and a hole of every foul spirits and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. The foul spirit here used to tell us that the people of Babylon were filthy. So this tells us that the people of America was filthy. The term a cage, this tells us that our cities and our country became a cage for people of filth. The Bible teaches us that the God refers to the people of Sodom and Gomorrah as being people who doing and work was such that came up and stunk his nostrils. But I think that if the God will get a good smell of this modern wicked filth here, he would think the smell of Babylon and his nostrils was like the smell of a flower compared to this wickedness of today. Babylon is used as an example for some distant people of their history. According to the prophet, his name Babylon is something that begins in Genesis and ends in Revelation. It is found throughout the entire Bible. Therefore, we must not look at it as one personal part. We must not look at it as spelling out. to us, the ancient only. In Jeremiah, the Bible, we see a daughter, ancient Babylon, called the people the daughters, ancient Babylon. These people are not the old parents, but they are the daughters from those parents. So the daughters, ancient Babylon, refers to a more late and modern civilization who people gave themselves over to the practice of the same evil that the people of ancient Babylon practiced. So we see the daughters. See, you gotta understand, Babylon, the goddess queen, she was the seducer. Her daughters is our young children, our young teen, our women. See, whenever America designers and manufacturers can dress the women up today, and about one third of their dress and turn out partially new. You see, nudity is originated from the white man. See, but they want to tell the world that I'm the guy, but the guy to what? Because they lead you to filth and evil. This is why you have a growth in this academic, in these major cities like Houston, Memphis, Washington, Baltimore, Tennessee, Chicago, and the list goes on. That just think how many people is affected with a virus that's going around. So we see in this modern time, we see when it comes to the daughters. See the daughters today, you see how they practice the same evil that the people of ancient Babylon practiced. But we see, but the modern people was more capable of improving on the practice of these people of ancient Babylon. So therefore we call these modern people the daughters of ancient Babylon. And we see in Isaiah 47 verse 1, asks these people, the daughters of ancient Babylon, come down, sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon, sit on the ground. There is no throne for you, no more. You should be called tender or delicate. See, the daughters of Babylon seem to have been a very rich people, and they have fallen from a state of great wealth. You see, they have fallen from a state now of great wealth. See, Isaiah used Babylon as a pretty girl who lover used to be plentiful because of her wealth and her attractiveness. Now she has become ill looking, had no more attractions upon the people. She's no longer attractive no more. Women still gaining fatal attraction. They want that attention. See, when you, I don't care, what I mean, when you go down, when you're driving in the states to states, just think, each states got prostitution. All these fine girls you went to school with, you probably grew up with in the neighborhood, right? Just think what they've been doing all this time. The majority, we get a handful of them today, they're out there. So I said to the daughters of Babylon, she's no longer attractive. The daughters you see today is no longer attractive. All that shaking their tail feathers, they booty, they rear end, all that's no longer attractive. Put on extra makeup, just trying to, what I mean, keep up. She's no more attractive. You see, Isaiah used Babylon as a pretty girl. It says here, who lover used to be plentiful because of her wealth and the attractiveness. Now she has become ill looking and have no more attractions. upon the people. So he says, sit down in the dust. You are no more respected and attracted to the people. The prophet Jeremiah warns ancient Babylon that she has a daughter coming. See, this daughter meant the fate destined for Babylon. She was made to be destroyed. See, Satan was made to be taken and destroyed. Why? Because she had become a place where evil was practiced. She was like a bird that goes out and associates with birds other than her own kind. And then she becomes a hateful bird. She is hated by all of the other birds. So Babylon fills herself with people of that sort. So we see the USA came to arrest her and chase all the Indians. But America invited everyone of the poor class who wants to come from Europe to make themselves a home here in America, the Indians' country. See, all of the poor, evil citizens of Europe, we see America welcomes them. She invited every race of the earth to come and join in with her in a free country where evil and filth are openly in practice without hindrance. America have done just this. She have filled up her country with all evil people. America did not allow Islam nor preacher Islam to come into her country. America did not want a good religion taught. America made the religion that she could rule and control herself. She had made it attractive to the eyes and ears. To the eyes and ears that was open. Now we see America had done just this. We see she had filled her country today with all evil people. America did not allow Islam nor a preacher we see of Islam to rule and control. She made it attractive to the eyes and ears of those who see and hear it by teaching them basically that there was three gods instead of teaching them the teaching of Moses, the teaching of one God. America make it possible in her Godheads. If one of them does not like you, you may plead to another. If one does not let you by, one of the three will. This is contrary to the very laws of nature. It is contrary to America's own mathematical language and mathematics. It's not possible to put the three into one. So America having this religion contrary to the truth. Today we see the authors of truth is condemning her. America is nothing but a foul and evil place to live. She had no respect for her own self nor for anyone else. She would disrob in the public and go newest. America even have newest colonies wherein we desire to go new. You can do so. The public does not want you. See in the Bible, Revelation 18, verse 4, 5, and the Revelation of John, a people are warned to flee out of her. Here we get the name Babylon to become a modern day people. The voice of an angel warns the people of certain class to fly out of Babylon. Come out of her, my people, that you be not partaker of her sins, and that you receive not of her pledge. For her sins have reached into heaven, and God have remembered her iniquity as being an evil people. So the angels notify us, saying, Babylon, the great, is falling. Today we see this same thing. There is no people to be warned to come out of another people. The answer to description of this warning so clearly as the so-called Negro in America, or the law found people of our own black kind does. Here, the so-called Negro is warned to fly out of her and not to be partaker of her judgment, her torment. The angel says, so much evil she has done to you. Revelation 18, verse 6. We wore her, even as she has rewarded you, and double to her double, according to her works, and the cup which she has filled to her double. Allah God, to whom praise are due forever, says to me that there is nothing that you can do to her in the way of evil that could match the evil that she has already done to us. This is why the revertators called the people the modern Babylon beasts, for they live the kind of life of wild beasts. They had no mercy for themselves, for anyone else. They are made, although there are few who will believe and escape the doom of her brother. This is the reward just by faith. But the black man is created by the Creator by nature. He was made blind, deaf, and dumb by his kidnapping Lord, Master, the white slave masters. So I do not think that you could overlook the most positive truth here in this article that we are now living in the call of angels to us. Come out of her. The here means the wicked world or the devil. Since we, the black people, was kidnapped and forced into this world of the white race, we must be forced out of this world. It is not that you, my people, will accept by just having freedom to accept your own choices. No, you will have to be punished, divinely beaten, and destroyed until you accept Master Falab Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, as I and 1,000 of my followers are doing. See, do not think that the 144,000 prophesied of are the only ones will be saved. See, the 144,000 refers to the first convert, the first right fruits to God and his messengers, the first right fruit of God and a lamb. Another prophecy warns us that Babylon is falling and never rise again. This warning teaches you that the country and people of modern Babylon will become like the people and city of ancient Babylon that was destroyed and had not risen up a people or a city since its destruction. I warn you, my black brothers and black sisters, that unless you believe in Almighty God Allah, the Master Fallah Muhammad as I do, and receive the names of the holy and perfect God, you will never see the hereafter. The Bible warns you and me that on the final destruction of the wicked, Allah God will say to angels that He has to usher in the judgment to bring His people to Him, everyone that is called by His name. For He give His people His name so that He may save them, so that they may be the servants of Allah God, as they was the servants of their white slave masters. As long as you are in His names of the white slave master, you belong to this white slave master, regardless of what you believe, and regardless to how mighty you think that you are. You will not be accepted by the black people, the God of our black people, if you have the names of white people, and if you are in that religion called Christianity. The fall of America is now going on. She is falling. The cause of her fall is universally known, as it was with ancient Babylon. The fall of ancient Babylon was known. See, the great Daniel, the mouth speaks to God, was in her midst, and his people, the Jews, was enslaved. In ancient Babylon, according to history, during the reign of the kings, we see the Jews suffer under the ruthless laws of these two kings against the Jewish God, religion, and people. These two rulers, the ancient Babylon, disrespect everything regarding the sacred religion and worship of Jehovah by the Jews. They took Jerusalem and captured the noble of Israel. They raided and shackled the cities and the Jew house of worship. They made mockery and stumbled all that stood for Jehovah and the Jews. They made mockery of the prophets and the sacred vessel that God has King Solomon made and put in the house of worship of the Jews so that they should be sacred. The kings, the kings we see and his nephew or grandson, according to some historians, gave the Jews no honor and no respect whatsoever. Under both of their reign, we see God made example of them to serve as an example of a future people opposition and disrespect of God and his people. God has come to make it clear that he has chosen the American so-called to be his people. The truth that he gives to them and they themselves are sacred before his eyes in a world of righteousness. Showing disrespect to God and his people is inviting the punishment and doom of God. A Kephara server or seeker of truth of the time and history being made. And these times can easily see how well the history of ancient Babylon, its rulers and its people fits in with the history of the rulers of the people of America and England. American enslavements of the so-called and England enslavement of people fit so completely with the history of ancient Babylon that it cannot be denied that the ancient history of the Babylonian Empire people was of America. America wants everyone to believe she is right, and her wicked dealing with the people of earth, of her might of arm, commanding the high seas and the land around the global. She wishes everyone to think she is right and building and up and arm and forths and foraging countries. And on their sword, a bursting deadly navy with guns trained it on foraging people, towns, and cities as they dare without any cause. This only show her pride and daring aggressive act against people who would like to be at peace. She have her feet standing on 20 and 30 million black people brought out of their native lands and people from their God and their religion by our fathers and have forced them to remain on their feet of power for the past 400 years. She had deprived them of knowledge of self, the right race, their own people, and their religion. For 300 years, she did not allow them to worship any religion at all, not even her own religion of Christianity. She had robbed them of their divine rights. Now, with a great show of temptation put before the same slave and the world at large, she should not be surprised to see and feel the hands of God writing her doom on the walls of her government. The judgment of America. See, the great dreadful days of the Lord have now come to America. See, the lands and people who worship evil. You see, this robbery, murder, rape, famine, decease are the orders of the day in America. If there is anything like a God of righteousness, if there is anything like a God of truth, should not he raise himself up and take his place and put an end to such evil as now going on in America? You see, people cannot walk the streets of America today without subjecting themselves to robbery, murder, or rape. America is a wicked land. See, everyone's against the other. See, righteousness, justice, and freedom are despised and fought against, regardless to the clear knowledge of God, hourly punishment and destruction of America by his divine pledge of storms. But this is as it is written of America in the book of Revelations. In the Bible, they continued their evil ways and did blasphemy to God, who has power over these pledges. They hate the name of Allah. They hate the name of his messengers. But nevertheless, that does not stop the judgment and destruction of America. Now look at the wicked devil in Alabama. They are against us while we are trying to be at peace with them, but there is no peace in them. We have done nothing to them. See, they are against us just because the idea that we are Muslims and black people. Did the white man have his way of ruling the black people for so long that he thinks that he still has the power to do so? While in reality, the white men have come to an end of his time of power to rule the black people. Regardless to Allah God retaliation to the white man for his evil act done to the black man, the white man still keeps inviting the retaliation of Allah God. The white man must remember they cannot win today over Allah God and his servants, for he has power. See, the judgment of white America. See, judgment have come to you, America, whom to you who seeks to fight against Allah God and against his aim and purpose. Whom to you, America, Allah God has made you blind to his judgment, and therefore you are committing suicide today. He has made you blind on purpose to give you the full dose of his wrath. For when a man does not know the danger of fire, then he can fall headlong into it. America mistreated the black man for 400 years. She does not think that there is ever a God who will set per black slave and we turn on her head the injustice done to a black slave. This is the day and time in which America could benefit from what Allah God has revealed to me and from the work I'm doing amongst my black people. See, turn them from doing evil into righteousness, as it is written in the Bible. You see, Babylon could have been healed, and there was a possible chance for healing if she had not gone to the extreme by making fun of the God of the Jews and their temple in Jerusalem and belittling the powers of the God of the Jews to retaliate. The Bible prophesies of these pledges that will come upon America, and these pledges we see are falling on America now, and yet she will not repent. For America continued to kill the black born slave for righteousness and justice. Even though the black slave wants to go from America, she wants to hold on to him. America does not want to let her black slave go. America holds the black slave for a prey. Whom to America? Her days has arrived. She will not heed the warning, and I beg her to let us be separated from her on a little territory and a state to ourselves, to let us be responsible for our own survival. See, only to get out from under her injustice. But she refused. So we see it was with Pharaoh in the time of Moses. And God went down to Egypt to make Israel and her enemies, the Egyptian, an example for a future people, so that this may serve a sign as what we see going on in America today. The four great judgments that Allah God promised to destroy America, which are now coming upon her: hail, snow, drought, earthquakes. Allah God has reserved it his treasures, a snow and ice to be used against the wicked country of America in the days of battle and war. These are some of a lie God weapons, the storms that we see going on. See, the white man of America is not blind today. He's not ignorant. He had known these prophecies of his doom for a long time before we knew it. For the white man translates the Bible. He knows what he puts in his translation of that, which was written in the Bible, which was prophesied to come. See, the judgment of white America. See, all love, respect of the wicked that have gone from them. See, they do not love each other, nor respect each other. They have pulled off their clothes and disgraced themselves. See, this is also a pledge. You see, some of the white people rehearsing the cage days of their fathers, and they are not ashamed to do so. See, they come out with long, straggly hair as their fathers did in the days of their cage. This is a lie God forcing a white man to bear him witness that they really wants the caveman. Yet, a few foolish, unlearned black people follow the white man. See, it is shame to pull off their clothes and grow hair down their back over their face by misleading this black man to fall in the ways of the white man cage days. The white man again telling the world how he had deceived it, the black man. It is now making the black man manifest that he is too weak to seek his own. For nearly 40 years, I have been preaching to the black man in America that we should accept our own, instead of the black man going to the east side of his own. He goes back seeking transitional Africa in the way they did in the jungle life, the way you see in uncivilized parts of Africa today. They are not using barbecue sneers or razors to keep themselves looking identified as a civilized people should look. The black man in America accept the jungle life, thinking that they will get the love of black Africa. You see, black brothers and black sisters wearing these savage dress and hairstyles will not get you love Africa. The people of Africa are neither Muslims or educated Christians. But Africa today does not want Christianity. So do not think that you get a home in Africa after this war if you are a Christian. To get a home in Africa after a war, you have to be a Muslim. To see the judgment of America, he is made manifest. See, as it is written, we see in the Bible, Revelation, see, as they cage every unclean and hateful bird, every unclean and hateful human being, every unclean and hateful animal. America, America, your days have come for the evil done to your black slave. America, you cannot repay that evil with another evil of trying to tempt the black slave by offering them your white woman. See, that does not help you in this day, but it does condemn you today as being a double crosser. That you will even offer your black one slave, your girls and women, to do with them as they please if they would just follow you. We see the judgment of America. See, Babylon could have been healed, but she was not healed. America just beginning to experience sorrows, mournings, and grief, and distrust for anger of God and man, according to both of the Holy Quran and Bible. There will be plenty more of the same. In these two books, we can see one can easily find everything foretold that is happening today. The time will grow so terrible, son, that according to the Holy Quran, children will become gray haired. And according to the Bible, Bible, great heart failures will become a disease upon the people who had the anger God, the American people. See, the fourth beast we see in the Revelation of John in the Bible, which Daniel described as a very dreadful, well armed beast who working are that a death upon the weak, refers to America. She had no respect for the poor, the unfortunate. Daniel's description of the rib between the teeth, the beast, and the referencing to this ill treatment we see subjection, ruthless behavior by the devil to our people. We see this American Latins today, the poor with heavy sentences, long prison terms, and refuse to let the prisoners go free. This is due to a heartlessness and a lack of compassion for the black man of America. This beast we see, white man, lies and waits around the black man homes and prowls the streets at night and wait for an excuse to wreak his ruthlessness on his poor prey, the black man. If the black man raised a hand to protect and defend himself, see, he's shot dead and is unable to defend himself against these false charges. This beast keeps our people in sorrow and unhappiness by depriving them of equal opportunity. The black man rages are calculated by white wicked accountants, preventing the so-called from saving by skyrocketing in views of the poor, the price of the necessary life. See, this white beast persecute, imprison, and kill those who preach freedom and justice for the poor so-called Negro. The white man does not want the so-called Negro to leave America, but she would not divide the spoil of America, the country which she has taken by force of arm, and killing its owners, the Indians, with them. This beast set up evil to be allies as a god. She discussed good for evil. She covered the earth with filth, making it fascinating, so that man will bow down and worship evil for good. She set brothers against brothers for joy, and then she kills both of them. Whom to America, the murderers and deceivers of the people. God of justice and truth has pronounced it a judgment against you, and by no means will you escape. Yeah, made mockery of him, God, and his people, and his words, the truth. You have been judged and found, woe to the so-called American Negro, the lost and now found members of the black nation of the earth. Come unite with Allah and me, go to your own. You won't have to go anywhere if you only unite with your own. See, heaven awaits you wherever you may be. The four great judgment that Almighty Allah God is bringing upon this country are rain, hail, snow, and earthquakes. We see them now covering her on all her sides, as the Holy Quran prophesies, curtain her on all her sides. And these judgments will push the people into the center of the country of America. And they'll realize that it is Allah God who is bringing them and a country to a nothing. We see in Job, in the Bible prophesies that Allah God has the snow and ice to use as his weapons in the days we see in the battles against the wicked. We hear and read in the newspapers today of how great hill like little mountains of snow are pushing down from the north. See, not only in the northern states of Minnesota, North and South Dakota, Montana, but now the snow is in the New England states and they are declared to be disaster areas. The announcer a disaster of snow in the New England states says that there have never been such great quantity of snow. See, all up and down the coast, the Carolinas, we see the rain takes off where the snow leaves. So the rain takes up where the snow leaves, and we see all around our southern borders of America, storms are raging. There are tornadoes and heavy rain, and more storms are on the way. See, one right after another in the north and far west. In the east, America is surrounded with the judgment of Allah God. There are earthquakes and the seas is raging. The Pacific Ocean now angry and is raging and it tossing up great waves as never before. Now, brothers and sisters, why should these things hit America? The Revelation teach you why. It is because America is filled with devils and has such unclean person living in America. See, that is true on the hateful birds. See, every filthy, sheamy, wicked person comes there for a haven, where he can do any wickedness he wants to do, and the country opens and welcomes that type of person. As we see, the few little Muslims, the name Muslim means those who have submitted to the will of Allah God. How the enemy hates us and seeks to do all the evil he possibly can against us by falsehood. See, these are not the days of Noah, Lot, Abraham, nor are these the days of Moses. See, these are new times. Enemy does not get away in punishing the righteous just because he hates them. Allah, the God of righteousness, is with us. And he just laugh at those who try to fight against him. He had destroyed a whole nation with less than the power of rain, hail, snow, and earthquakes. Holy Quran has the record of people even being destroyed. See, Allah, God does not have to have something great. He does not have to go to work and get a block, an arm, or a mountain and throw it on them. See, he used that which is with you against you. So the force of nature are great weapons as we see them now in play upon America. Storms after storms, and snow and ice we see are whirling in from the north and are pushing great drifts that are just covering up everything. What can you do with a God like this? Job prophesies that Allah God has his weapons stored up to use in a day of battle and war with the wicked. He just takes some snow and cover them all up. The Holy Quran says that Allah God destroyed people with just cold wind. He froze them. Do you think that you can get away with fighting Allah God? See, no wonder the second psalm says that he will sit in heaven and laugh at those who are trying to fight against him. He'll have you crazy. It is true. See, the head of the government of this Christian world are confused today. And they do not know that they are confused. Why? Because the great desire was to confuse us. Now, Allah God has taken confusion out of us and put it into them. Eat, America. Now help yourselves to the desert that you have prepared for us. See, you eat it now. See, all praise are due to Allah God, to whom praise are due forever. See, we went to Alabama and to any states that we go to, and we pay a high price per acre of land that our fathers that labor has already brought for us. Now he wants to kill us if we act humble and peaceful and want to buy back some of our own labors. I laugh at some of these things that I hear coming out of Alabama, and not only in Alabama, but in every other states and unions. See, they do not know the time in which they are living. Allah God is well able to take this country from you and give it to whom He pleases. It is in your Bible. Read it for yourself. He took the kingdom from the wicked and gave it to whom He pleases, those who will bring people into righteousness. We see America is surrounded with the judgment of Allah. The four great judgments we see of rain, hail, snow, and earthquakes, and confusion in the head of states. To be pledged with too much rain, we see, will destroy properties and lives. Too much rain will swell the rivers and creeks. Too much rain floods cities and towns. See, large bodies of water at the ocean shoreline will be made to swell with unusual high waves, dumping billions of tons of water over the now seashore lines. Rain will destroy properties and kill cattle by drowning them in lowlands. Rain destroyed the hiding places of victorious beasts, reptiles, bringing them out, fighting them small towns and people homes and farms. Rain weakens and destroys railroads. We see truck lines, beds, and bridges. Rain undermines foundation of all types of buildings. Rain makes the atmosphere too heavy with musa, causing sickness to the people. Wind with rain can bring destruction to towns, cities, bringing germs and causing sickness that produce unclean water by the swelling stream and destroying of the pure drinking water used for the health of the people. Rain is a destructive army with itself. Hailstorms are also a property and life destroyers. Snow is of the most dreaded plague when it comes in great drift from 5 to 35 feet. It buries your property and lives. It destroys your highways and cities and your gravel towns and cities. We see snow looks pretty, but snow is going to be one of his weapons that he used, even though it looks pretty because of its clean look. We see almost everything in nature is beautiful, but it can be turned into death and destruction against man. Snow is prophesied to be one of the weapons that God will use against the wicked of America. Job 38:22 and 23. Hell also is mentioned in the same two verses where God plainly tells us that He had preserved it against this time of trouble, against this days of battle and war. Holy Quran also teach us that God used rain, wind, hail, earthquakes, and fire against former wicked people. Is America any better than the people we read about in the history that God destroys? No, she is not as good. These people was not as wicked as American people. See, earthquakes can destroy towns and cities instantly. See, America is in the grip of divine judgment. America is in a position towards a once slave, so-called nigger, as we see Pharaoh was with Israel as a slave. She is in this position today because of the injustice done to the American so-called Negro slaves he brought here to America for over 400 years ago, refuses to let them go free. They only said that you are free, knowing within that you are not able to lead them without anything. But the injustice continued to increase. Now, today, they plan death. So this God was predicted by the prophet to come to the defense of these people, the so-called Negro, in these last days after they served the enemy for 400 years. The Bible declared to Abraham, we see in Genesis that God will judge the people to whom his people Abraham will be in bondage. See, this does not mean Israel. This means the present black members, the members of the black nation who have and are fulfilling their prophecy. See, God will not be defeated. You see, the more evil, deceiving, tricking, and making false promise to the American so-called Negro only increases today America divine chastisement, doom. America knows that her trouble lies in her mistreatment of the black man, the so-called Negro. But she is too wicked to give up tricking the Negro, deceive him on false promises. She just cannot stop. The opportunity is to open, and she thinks that there is no one to hinder her. But God has chosen us to be his people, and he delights in fighting the enemy. According to the history of the former people, he delights himself by going forth against them when they extended the limit. So it is with white America. They must be separate. America would not agree to see the Negro separate from her until she has suffered divine punishment, as Pharaoh suffered. The same things the other evil nations suffered before them is now coming upon his people. She seeks to keep her slave robbed of opportunity and wealth. She envies success coming to an American Negro free slave. She charged them high prices to keep them down, to deceive them through a few of what we call Uncle Toms and the political circle, class, and all professional classes. She offered them little favoritism to help her work against their own people, the black people. But they too would suffer along with the enemy of justice of the poor so-called Negro. They must be separate. We see envy, hatred are going between the two people. See, regardless of what they're preaching of social integration, the truth must come. What is better than the program you found I have written? You two blacks and whites cannot get along in peace, since you have never got along in peace. See, do you know why? White America does not talk with you about separation, and why he calls separation of the two people the wrong solution for peace between the people. He knows that it's promised and that God will do it. Then why do they not agree with separating themselves from you and me and we from them? Why are the black man and white man all over the earth now in disagreement with each other to live in peace? Do you know why? Oh, foolish American so-called nigga, seek some of this earth that you can call your own and to live on in peace. Unite and ask the government for a portion of America. This is what we need, somewhere to live to ourselves and let this white man live to himself. The two people are not brothers today. They are aliens to each other. I ask you, my brothers and sisters, to learn this and learn it quickly. Fly for your life to the refuge of Allah and come follow me. The Holy Quran, Surah 1341. See they not that we are visiting land and curtain it from all its sides? And God pronounced a doom, and there is no repeller of his decree, and he is swift and calling to account. Black man America, see, there's no one as blind as you are seeing what is going on against white America. I have warned you now. That Allah, God, and a person of Master Falad Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, came to me and gave me the knowledge of the truth, and have been preaching to you continually. Now you see what is going on. As America has done, so now we see it's being done into her. America has surrounded the country of the people. She had blown the cities to pieces. She had killed the inhabitants. See, those who was left alive, you see, she put to flight, running from shelter, from destruction by America might. We see it's very sad and horrible to look at the things that America has done, which are now coming on this country. For many years, we see centuries of years, we see America live a luxurious, wicked, wild life while hating her black slave and depriving them of justice. See, shooting them down on the streets, on the highways, in the woods and fields for nothing. She did it just because she felt that she had the advantage today and she wanted to kill black people, and she was made to do. The Bible we see, Psalms chapter 10, verse 8. He sits in the lurching place of the village in a secret place. Now do he murder the innocents. You see, his eyes are set against the poor. You see, up into this minute, you see, she's seeking to destroy the black man of America, his future, and to deprive him of freedom to do for self. See, America never desired a departure of the black slave from his white slave master. America wished only to hold the black slave in order to continue to treat him with evil. You see, Pharaoh hatred and injustice to Israel and Egypt in the time of Moses to serve America as they wanted. But she had fallen headlong into the destruction of Allah God. America runs to and fro, seeking a way out, but she does not try to justify her black slave for justice and equality amongst the nations of the earth. America made us into nothing, and she used us to mock us before the nation of earth. But a God with unlimited wisdom, knowledge, and power is now befriending a black slave, and he has chosen a black slave to be his people. But the foolish black people have yet to come to that knowledge that Allah God is their best friend, and that he is here to save them from the destruction of a people who have shown evil and hatred to us all our life. America divided us one against the other. The black man in America so divided against each other that you seek all the time to do evil against each other. You cannot even befriend them lest they take advantage of it. They call you a fool for trying to befriend them, as it was with us by Midway Technical Schools. See, Midway Technical Schools came to us for help, and we gave them that help to keep them from falling. It cost us $30,000 to set them free of their back rents and bills that they had. See, take a look at how they turn on us for the purpose of wrecking all of their beautiful businesses set up for them and others to enjoy on the south side of Chicago, Illinois. So we see the fall of white America foretold separation is the answer. And when the cities are set on fire, and when men are united, and when hell is kindled. The folding up is the title taken from the first verse of that chapter in which the above verses are found. Now, when the sun is folded up, the sun will be actually dim. The sun will get all its ingredients. It will get its natural lights. It will get all its perplexity protons. And when the sun gets heated, then we are expecting for a high coronal mass ejection. So the folding up is a record of what people have done as used will no longer be necessary. So the folding up of this chapter is referred to what take place in this resurrection. See, one part is recorded as the beginning, while the other part is discontinued. We see this clearly being made manifest today. War calls the destruction we see of civilizations. War destroys towns and cities. This chapter 81 of the Holy Quran is now being fulfilled. The sun and the stars and mountains, camels, wild animals are mentioned in the first 4 verses of this chapter. The coming of God refers to by the prophets united people who have been divided against self by the enemies. He chose these people for building a better world. The Bible refers to the destruction of the beast and its chief instructor, the dragon. The name Babylon given here does not refer to 4-foot animals, but to a people who rule is like that of a savage beast. The theologians, most of them from the time of Martin Luther, who I think was the author of these terms, you see, beast, dragon, especially the late Pastor Russell and Judge Rutherford. the founder of Jehovah's Witness said. Take the term take the term which means dragon to refer to Pope Rome, the father of the Christian church and the Christian religion. This is the first time since we had been lost in this part of the earth that we want to unite the black nation of the earth into one under the guidance of God who is now present. Why should the master continue to deceive his slave? He teaches the slave that he's free citizen with equality. Why do you slave masters want to hold them for hostage? Pray, see you do not need them. Your machines do the labor that the slave used to do. Why not let them go? You want to go to war against Allah and the freedom that God came to do for you slave before you Pharaoh had that same idea. He did not want Israel to go free in the land to themselves. See, Pharaoh lost the war against Allah and was drowned in the Red Sea. See, the loser of this war, my brothers and sisters, will land in a lake of fire, not water. If white America wants to free a slave, she can easily do so. See, this would be simpler and easier than what she's doing today, killing and provoking them through police force. We see National Guards today fighting U.S. Army as we see in Washington, D.C., Detroit, Michigan. See, America's actions show us two things. Firstly, she wished to cause fear amongst the so-called niggas with a display of many deadly weapons, but Allah is removing the fear. Secondly, she fears to approach armed slave unless she is armed. See, this has been historical relations between the white man and the slave. The white man seeks the leaderships of the so-called to help keep the dissatisfied slaves subject to him without complaint about injustice. The white man will say, now, nigga, you should be happy now. You know you are better off than many of your black kind with a job. The white slave master brought our fathers here to do the slave work. Our free laborers have made the white slave master richer than the brethren Europeans. Do they offer us any of this land that they took from the Indians? See, the 22 million so-called niggas should be seeking some of this earth on which to live and build an independent nation out of self. The white slave master only offers a job. Allah God, to whom praise are due forever, to free us. See, the Negro slave must be free. See, this is the meaning of the resurrection. Allah God has says to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad that he intends to free the American so-called Negro at any price. For 400 years, you slave masters have been killing the so-called Negro without receiving any resistance, and regardless of his peaceful way with you. See, we the Muslims have tried to live in peace in America. There is not a single instant of our 36 years of history where we have ever made an aggressive move against you, but you have attacked us several times. We have proved to the world that you are very impossible to live with in peace. You have condemned it and killed the just and he who do not resist you. James 5:6. You have killed the innocent ones who is not opposing you. You have destroyed many towns, cities, and people. As you have divided the so-called one against the other. So Allah should divide you and your brethren. As you have done to others, so shall it be done to you. The Bible. And when your cities are set on fire, this is a sign of the end of you as a power. See, today we cannot deny the fact that we see this Christian rest is responsible for this universal corruption in the land and sea. From the same corruptions that their own hands have made will come their doom. You see, the Christian preach that which they do not do and cannot do, as love your neighbors. See, I have yet to meet one who loved his neighbor as did himself. See, thou shalt not kill. See, I have yet to meet such a good Christian. You see, they even fight against each other. You see, rob and kill each other, but yet represent themselves as world peacemakers, with whom the great deceivers of the world will reap what they have sown. Had they not corrupted many people, nation under good, peaceful, loving Christians? See, the Christian race is full of these worst crimes, practicing evil to the fullest and seeking to practice them on other nations as well. The universal temporary ever parade we see before the world, the bold half nude girls and women. See, they are before your eyes in almost everything. You see this murdering, gambling, robbery, drunkenness, drug, adultery, lying. We see there's hardly any end to it. The land seas are filled with deadly weapons of war. See, the islands of the seas are filled with corruption by all the nations of earth, for they are proud and boastful and are now hated and despised it according to their wishes. See, the religion of Christianity is a curse to us, the black man, and is full of slavery teaching we see today. See, they have poisoned their Bible with their adding to and taken from this truth. Now their doom we see is in sight. It is their own work. They command to see with their powerful navies, see, park them off the soil of the nations. Secure their air base on their swords to place their deadly bomb. We see carrying planes within easy striking distance, or those who fear to be the enemies. Now, is this not the easy way to make an enemy? Is this the act of a real Christian? To follow Jesus when they preach came for the peace of mankind, and to teach of the seeking of the sword, and to turn the other cheek. Where's the good Christian amongst this race? They love meddling in other people's affairs. See, today they are in every fight or war, if it matters not with whom or where, but yet crying peace, peace, with every deadly weapon of war to provoke other nations to war. Shall not the God of peace and justice deal with you and your troublemaking as he did with those before you? See, I warn every one of you, my people, fly to Allah with me for refuge. As I warn you, see, the judgment of this world has arrived. Get out of the slave making Christianity into the right religion of Islam. See, the house you are in shall surely fall and never rise again. The destruction and fall we see of this world that we have known is now without a doubt and process. When we refer to the world, we are referring to the world of the white man. For the world of the black man have yet to come in. To the world of the black man, by divine guidance, is now merging in on the old world of the white race. This makes the destruction and fall of the world of the white man. Here in America, we cannot see nothing but this fall of America. It is no secret today. It is obvious to the eyes that are open today. If we want to shut our eyes and minds and claim that we do not see and understand, they will be falling ourselves. This refuse to see is foolhardy, regardless to how we may desire to see the old world stand. We do not have the power to starve off the destruction that causes the world of the white man to fall. Destruction and power that is bringing about the fall of the world of the white man is coming from Allah God. In the present history of the world of the white man, there was never a time of destruction of his world like the present time. It is useless for you to try to prevent this fall of the white man's war. There is no checking it. The white race has not tried to do the right thing. Justice, doing the justice, will have checked her fall. The Bible, Jeremiah. But America was never willing. Even at this hour, she is not willing to do justice by those who she had mistreated. She had dealt injustice to her black one slave for nearly 500 years that she had been an arrestor. America have constantly burdened the poor black slave with every evil that she can imagine. The evil scientists who invented more and more evil practice and not been able to invent any more evil than that which they have already put out. Day and night, we see without a let up, the white man mistreat the poor black slave. And now since heaven, the God of peace, justice, freedom, equality have come to the black slave. The white man is trying to make everyone that recognize the truth deviate from it. The white man says, do not accept it. He makes the black man hypocrite against his own starvation. The white man trolls the one who have not as yet accepted truth or their starvation. And he promised them that which he would never be able to fulfill. America is falling. She is now losing the power and authority that she was enjoying in foraging lands. Her fall is very visible. Wherever her authorities have been exercising, the people are now crying out in one voice. Now leave us, leave us. See, America, go home to America. Now the citizens of the country are telling American citizens, leave us. America no longer has friends. She no longer has friends. Friendship is speeding her doom. No one wants to sit with her. Now America, England, deposit their little brother, we see Israel on foreign soil. The Palestinians, which is Arabs' lands. Now, they took the Arabs to their own lands and sent them off into another land. We see this injustice against the Arabs is now causing America the power and authority that she once exercised in the Near East. She is on her way out in the Near East. And this means bloodshed, and we see plenty of it. We see in the Near East there stand navies which are neither American nor British, but they are there to drive America out. The skies over there are beginning to thicken with foraging planes carrying deadly weapons. We see guns and bombs. There will not be sci-fi as long as Israel is in Palestine. See, the war has come to a bursting point. We are living in a troubled world. We are in a world that is now erupting. Black man and woman who was once a slave in America. You have a way of escape. The way out is now your own terms. It's on the condition that you submit to God and come follow me. It's the only way out. I am the door and have the keys to your starvation. Reject it and die. We are in a world that is falling. It will soon be going up in flame. We see in Germany the Cold War we see between the East and West will soon erupt into a hot war. It will never be settled in peace. East and West we see Germany must and will fight out with all the deadly weapons that the war scientists have planted and perfect for the final showdown. You do not have to worry too much about whether or not America coming out of Asia. Certainly, America is coming out of Asia. The odds are against her staying there. But I warn you, my black people, my black brothers and sisters here in America, that while she's on her way home, we, the black people, are standing in this crossfire. The only hope that we have is to fly to our refuge and allow God. Look at what is going on to the south of us. Look at the hijack, stick up of planes. America's afraid to put a stop to this hijack, for she knows that she's going to run into more than she expects. Who had thought that the big power of America would suffer such disgrace in its day and time? This is to teach you, me, black brothers, that the great power of America is becoming weak. She is falling. I said, black brothers and sisters, join to your own kind and come follow me, for the world that you and I have known will soon be no more. The days of America's downfall. Now, these are the days of her life. See, God manifests the fall. He desired to make America fall as a warning to her brothers in Europe. We see, we know white America and Germany, God has taught me, are the most wicked of the right race. The wicked deed that have been performed and are still being performed by white Americans upon the so-called Negro slaves are the worst in annual history. They have been clever enough in their wickedness to make the so-called Negro slave love them, though they are their open enemies and murderers. See, Allah and God, to whom praise are due forever, now judge the American whites and is causing America fall and total destruction. See, Egypt under Pharaoh is an example for fulfilling these signs and other prophecies of their doom, and these people are foretold by the prophet from Noah to Jesus. Moses and Jesus are the most outstanding prophets in this history of the Caucasian race for the past 4,000 years. There are several others contemporary, but Moses and Jesus are the major prophets of the right race history. The whole of the civilized world today, as prophesied we see in Isaiah, is against this white man of America. Allah hates this wicked American whites, and he's threatened to remove them from the face of this earth. Since we see white America and the white race in general have deceived the entire world of black people, their brethren, brown, red, and yellow, Allah now is causing people to wake up and see this right race as it really is. We see the created enemies of the darker people. As we see today, there's a general awakening of the dark people to the knowledge of self and the knowledge of the age old 6,000 year enemy all over the earth. The American white race cannot sincerely give the so called their, their slave a square deal. She only desired to deceive them. Today, we see America is trying, against the will, to give the so-called Negro civil rights, which is against the very nature and will of the white race. For the first time since the black man had been here, America falsely offered social equality to certain parts of the country. This social equality consists mostly of permitting the American black race to mix openly with the white man and his women's, the devils. The actual idea, however, is to grant this so-called social equality among with the lower class of whites. This prophecy is fulfilled that the white man tempts and corrupts the so-called with his woman might be fulfilled. God has taught me that the right race was grafted unlike and being unlike. It is able to attract the black man and black woman, getting them to do all the evil known to the right race. One of the prophet of the Bible prophesies in regard to America as the morning stars spread abroad upon the mountains, a great strong people set and battle away. Joel chapter 2, verse 2. This is a setting of the nation for a showdown to determine who will live on earth. The survival is to build a nation of peace to rule the people of earth forever under the guidance of Almighty God Allah, with the nation setting forth for a final war at this time. See, God plead for his people, the inheritors of the earth, the so-called Negro. The so-called Negro is the prey for this white man of America being held firmly in the white man's powers, along with 2 million Indians who must be redeemed at this time, and will be if the so-called Negro turn to his Redeemer. The problem of the American black man is his unwillingness to be separated from his 400-year-old enemy. The problem, therefore, is harder to solve, especially when the enemy is trying to fascinate the Negro with his lower class girls and women, parading them partly nude before the Negro in every public news media, cheap daily newspapers and magazine, radio, TV. And the Negro is quick to intimidate. The problem between these two people, separation, the so-called Negro, so that they may be accepted and respected as equal or superior to other nation must be solved. This is God's promise to the so-called Negro, the lost and found members of the original black nations of the earth. This problem was made through the mouth of his prophets, the Bible and Holy Quran, that he would separate us from our enemies and make us master after this wicked race had been judged and destroyed for its own evil. But as I said, the solving of this problem, which means the redemption of a Negro, is hard to do since he loved his enemy. See the Bible, Deuteronomy 18:15. See Psalms, Isaiah, Matthew, Revelation chapter 14. The manifestation of Allah and the judgment between the so-called and the enemy of God and the nation of Islam will make the so-called Negro see and know his enemy himself, his people, his God, and his religion. We hear the statements of black educational, political, Christian class which express their love for the white man, probably asking to be his brother, if not his brother-in-law. Now, this class wants to make it clear to the world that they really love the white race and not the black race. This means that they want to be right instead of black. See, the devil had made them hate black. The rejected thought of black ever being their rulers or equal with the rulers. They act boldly from inferiority, not only for themselves, but for their people. They won't deserve themselves and their kind, especially the so-called American Negro, into a race of white people without ending the black race. It is just the opposite with Allah, God, myself, and my fathers. We want out completely. We want no claim to a kinship of a people who by nature are not our kin. We from Genesis and Revelation and the Bible from Surah chapter 2 to Surah 114 of the Holy Quran by no means are the so-called Negro and the white kin. See, God did not create them brothers, nor did he create them to ever become brothers. You see, one is creating an enemy against the other, and since the righteous are more powerful than the wicked, Allah, the God of the righteous, set a time of reckoning for an enemy. Separation. We want separation. We want a home on this earth that we can call home. We want to go for self and lead the enemy who has been sentenced to death by God. Revelation 20, verse 10 and 14. From the day he was created. We see this subject in the Bible and Quran. See, no one white, black, brown, yellow, red can prove to me by any scriptures of Allah, God, sent by one of the prophets of Allah, God, that we should not be separated. from this right race, and that we should believe and follow the religion dictated, shaped, and formed by this right race, the Ossicans. See, the coming of Allah and his judgment of this wicked world is made clear by the prophet saying of the prophet, the so-called reverends, and the proud intellectual class are doomed to destruction with the enemy if they remain with him, instead of joining in to Allah, who loved them and who delivered them, and the nation of Islam. The so-called Negro masses must be warned of the great mistake that they make in following the leaderships of those who love and befriend their murderers. This will not give them freedom or civil rights. America's fault. Her doom has come, and none shall the prophet shall help her in the days of her downfall. The Bible, God plead with you to fly out of her. America and seek refuge in him. Revelation 18, verse 4. It certainly will change your mind about fallen and doomed people and people who hate you and your kind, who will call one who teach the truth about them, being the haters. They are the producer of hate of us. We are with God and the righteous. We see the days of trouble has now come. The days of trouble have now come to us from Almighty God Allah. See, the God who is the real owner of this heaven and earth. Now, Allah God created himself a heaven, and then he let out to a forger, white race, for them to adjoin themselves in it for a little while. Now they have proved unworthy of such glorious creations. And now the God who is the owner of this heaven and earth is ready to take over and rule it for himself. See, never no more, and I mean never no more will this earth nor this heaven of earth be let out to these non-owners. Is a great wisdom taught to us, and let new creatures, right race, try their knowledge of mastering that which they was not made to master, which we knew when we made them, that they would not be able to master the original creation for long. For as long as we, the black people, are of the planet, there's no new creatures that can be put in order for that which we already have, and we are in it. It is such a wise piece of work that have been done. Wisdom, knowledge, understanding of the original of this creation is just. There is no comparison anywhere to make. There is no such thing that the originator can put the planet aside out of the hole and let someone else take over. See, this race, the right race, has not been successful today in ruling according to their wills and according to a real owner. For the white race have to use the original materials that himself has created. See, there's nothing of which this white man can call himself the creator. So therefore, since this white man continued to make trouble, which by nature he was made to do. See, we do not see any way out of trying to live with this white man in peace. The nature of this white man is ever causing unrest amongst himself and amongst us too. See, the white man just cannot make peace for himself because we see of his nature. Today, God has decided that we, the black people, cannot get along with this white man in peace, and that the white man must be removed. So the white race wants to remove us, the black people. But in order for this white man to remove us, the black man here had to move the whole entire heaven and make the heaven abode anything like life. Then from a vote, we have to do this all over again and create life. For the life in the universe is life that we, the black people, have established it. Therefore, to get away from our own life, which was created by the black man, so that new life come in, we will have to rid the space of life which belonged to us, the black man. And when the space was with a life that we, the black people, have created, another one will have to create life of its own making. We, the poor black people here in America, must be chained into a new and different people altogether. So Allah God, to whom praise are due forever. taught me. But now the complete make of us will be renewed from what we are in now, and we call it a new thing. There will, there will come a day when we, the black people, will have a complete new thing for man and earth and the heaven above us. But according to the scientists, God will cause this to go into a new thing, and not a complete destruction of the old, where there is no root to grow something from, not this time. See, the thing that a lot of God would like to do now and will do is to destroy this work of the devils. As the devil would like to destroy God's work, which God has created. The devil cannot destroy God's creation because the devil has no part in the creation of the first creation. And since this devil has no part in his first creation, this make the devil unable to lay hold to the power that will destroy the first work of God. See, the main thing which I keep mentioning enough to make you discuss is something for this black man in America who has spent his life long in sleeping in ignorancy of the knowledge of that which he is in. But as soon as the black man can awaken to the knowledge of this that he is in, then he can lay hold to that which he did not have knowledge of, which is that the black man is the creator of the first creation. Allah God wants to put the black man back into power. And the way the black man can be put back into power is Allah has to make this black man all over again to master power after giving the black man authorities. See, the black man will be given back the power that God's going to give back to him. See, the white man, he's very clever, or I should say clever. See, the devil and his tricks and his trickology must be removed. He can no longer rule over the black man. God will remove them. See, it called every nation will have a turn. And after their turn comes, soon they can't deny. So now Allah has to make this black man all over again to master his power after giving the black man authorities. See, look at the once peaceful black man here in America. See, look how he strives to reach for himself. He's now making his fast progress in that which God leads for him to understand. The black man conversation has changed. See, the black man way of thinking has changed. His astral physical form has changed. It is a great thing to have come to this black man America. See, the black man America is getting happier and happier. It's not hard for this black man America to get rich, for he's getting rich from his own wisdom. See, no one have given him anything. As a Bible teacher of the Son, see, no one gave it to him, but he's getting rich so fast that God chose the Son to become the head of the house that he has to stray away from.